Okay. Um, okay, so I can't tell you what made me laugh. But if any of you, first of all, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm going to be happy and chipper and smiley. But actually, this is really funny. So, have any of you watched what the marvelous Miss Maisel or something to that effect? Right, about the woman stand-up comic. If any of you have watched that, before she would go on stage, her manager would say something to her, blank up. Um, you're gonna have to go watch it. So I should get some like residuals or something for encouraging you guys to go watch that. But actually, it was a great series, so you should watch it. But before before we would go live, Eric used to say that same saying, and it became our inside little joke, and it just cracked me up. And like literally, out of habit, right as I pushed the button, I said it to myself, and Allie's sitting over there. She just started laughing because she wasn't aware of the inside joke. So anyway, that's probably not making any sense. You think I've lost my mind. Anyway, I haven't. Good Monday morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Coffee Time again. I have my coffee. I have so much to share. This is my Disney mug. It says, "Good morning, sunshine." My neighbors, a couple doors down, the amazing Godlewskis, they were clients and our neighbors and our friends. So they brought me over a very sweet little birthday gift when it was my birthday, and it included a excuse me, a Winnie the Pooh backpack and a new Disney mug, and I love it. I've often thought, okay, so like legit, like true story. First of all, I'm not a tattoo person. I don't have tattoos. Never really cared to get one, but my youngest has like got a whole sleeve. Dawson does, and it's growing on me. I mean, not that I'm going to go to that extreme. But then once Eric passed, I was like, well, maybe I'll get something like our song was the Mark Cohen song, True Companion. That was what our wedding song was. That was our song. And that's what the inside of his ring actually is engraved. And it says True Companion. And anyway, so I just was, I don't even know where I was going with that. But I was thinking about, that song. And Easton has joined us again, everyone. Yes, sir? Hello? Yes. So he's doing the most adorable and most irritating thing ever. When you try to feed him now, as soon as you give him a spoon of the food, before he swallows, in goes the fist. So he kind of slurps on his fist and his fingers with all the food in his mouth, which means it gets everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, I don't even know where I was going with the other stuff, but here's my mug. Cheers to you guys. Good morning. I hope I got to say good morning to everybody. I was typing fast and furious. Melody says she has the same mug. You do? You have this? Well, cheers to you, Melody. Good morning, coffee time. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, I was talking about tattoos. That's what I was going. I often thought when Eric passed that perhaps I would get a little tattoo that says True Companion somewhere that no one else can see. And then I thought better of it. But I did always think, and it'll never happen, but if I ever got a tattoo that like meant something else to me, it would probably be this picture with Pooh and Piglet. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to, but you tell me what you think. Should Amy tattoo or not? Is that what you call it? Is it like, it's not a verb. It's like, I don't know what it is. But anyway, not gonna, but just saying. So, yes, he's so excited this morning. Anyway, okay, wait, Pam. So Pam says, I have watched, so funny. So Pam, you know what that word is, right? Starts with a T? Yeah? Okay, so, yeah. So anyway, it's just really funny. Like literally, it was so completely authentic this morning that it just popped out of my mouth because he couldn't say it to me, so I said it to myself, and it there was no conscious thought process there. It was absolutely just a reflex, and maybe that was his way of saying he's with me today. I don't know, but he is with me today, as he always is. He's also with you guys. Everyone loves Easton, by the way, so don't fuss if you're worried that he's fussing. Anyway, okay, I got to remove this. Hold on, I got to find this one. I don't want to push any wrong buttons. Hold on, everyone. Okay, all right, I got to take that. There we go. Okay, good. All right, anyway, so here's my mug. Good morning, good cheers to you. Another little funny kind of thing that I'll share with you on Monday mornings is, I don't know where it is. It might be over there. We still have Eric's phone. And what's funny is Eric had an alarm set for every Monday morning at 7:50. And I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew we had an alarm set, but it, again, was not anything that I was, consciously aware of. I didn't listen out for it, but in the now over a month that he's passed, which just seems ridiculous to me. Um, the His alarm goes off every Monday morning at 7:50, and like I literally this morning it woke me up. Well, I was already awake, but it got me out of bed, and I came over and I turned it off because it was here in the kitchen, and I started to think to myself, do I ever want to like do I want to like stop having that alarm go off? Do I need to get rid of his phone? Like, I don't know. But anyway, all of these thoughts. And by the way, those are the crazy things. Speaking of crazy things, and then I promise we're going to move on to our topics. So first of all, congratulations to the Eagles. I had to look it up. I didn't watch a iota of it last night, the Super Bowl. Did not pay any attention. Candidly, it's all, without Eric here. Eric would always do the little chart with all the little number boxes and have all the kids pick numbers, and we'd randomly do it, and we just have our own little fun thing. Ooh, somebody wins $10 or something. We didn't obviously do that this year, but because he wasn't here, I didn't hear Eric chatting with the boys or talking to the boys. There was no hooping and hollering or yelling or screaming or whatever with football on. So I just didn't engage in that last night at all. So this morning before coffee time, I kid you not, hey Siri, who won the Super Bowl? oh no, the computer just heard me. Anyway, the computer started spinning. Anyway, so I had to look it up. So I think I'm right. Did the Eagles win?
The Eagles beat the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 by a score of 40-22 yesterday.
Phone just told me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Siri. Anyway, so the Eagles won, which makes, I think that's going to make I know it makes Dawson really happy. So congratulations to them. And on that note, there was another funny thing. Again, you guys knew Eric, in some capacity. He was always just a hoot. There was always something fun and quirky, and he always wanted to share and make people laugh and smile. And this has been, you guys were little. I think it was just like Forrest and Allie were probably the only two we had at the time when this practical joke started. And it may have even started with the Olympics. I don't remember. Like, it was just so natural and so kind of authentically goofy. Eric would make a Facebook post, and it always started with, Amy and I couldn't say anything until now, but we're proud to see Allie and Forrest doing the halftime show or doing the Olympic opening ceremonies. And then he would pick out a random things like, they're the little mushrooms over to the right or something. Always very, very funny. Well, the funny thing is, a lot of people, because of our like musical theater performing background, there were so many people that did not know that it was completely a joke. It was just funny. He was being goofy. And to this day, well, not to this day, to the last time he posted something like that, there would be, almost everyone knew that it was a joke, and they all kind of looked forward to that funny little post about, I wonder what Eric's going to post this time about what his kids are doing. Elizabeth and Dawson are doing this in the halftime show, or they're doing this in the Olympic ceremony or the closing ceremonies. And anyway, it's just funny because to the last time he posted, almost everyone knew it was a joke, but there was always like a straggler or two who was new to the joke. And so then everybody would have fun with it because then people just started to like play with us. Like, oh, there's a newbie on there that doesn't know he's kidding. And so they'll kind of play along with it. And they're like, oh yeah, man, that was great. I'm so proud of them for the one that they did last year. So anyway, so Gordon is a friend that we met through our Disney, some of my friends, we met through a Disney contest that Eric did years ago called the CMO, the Chief Magical Officer, when we still lived in Virginia. We ended up really befriending a fantastic group of people through a Disney forum that were all entering into the same contest. And he actually last night posted on my Facebook page, he's like, I know you and Eric couldn't say anything until now, but the kids did a great job at the halftime show. And it was really sweet because it was kind of, I think Eric would have really been smiling at that. He would have had a real laugh at that, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, okay, on to other things. So let's have our coffee and then let's talk about what's brewing, shall we? Okay. Well, first of all, Jane, I don't think I've said good morning to you yet. I was typing fast and furiously in the beginning. So anyone that I may have missed, I know I missed Tracy and Fred, and anybody else that I may have missed. But Jane, I think I missed you in the course of all that. So good morning to everybody. So our brewing topics today: HOA, CCR, and ARC, as is versus actionable, and do you see what I see? So these are some topics. Again, most of the time, everything that I do is real life. It's real situations with real clients, whether they're buying a home, whether they're selling a home, whether it's just someone that I'm out showing homes to, or with, I guess. They're all real life things that kind of pop up. And I think that gives us the best content because it's real questions and or concerns, and things that people experience as they are either looking to purchase or to sell their property. And that's really the best thing we can do for you, is to provide you real life information that is very much commonplace, and is helpful to the average person out there that may not know a little bit more of the in-depth aspect of real estate. Maybe they've never bought or sold a home before. Or maybe they're just doing it in a different area and the process is different, which is absolutely true in almost every case. So the first one is referencing the HOA, the CCR, and the ARC. So really what that means is we're just talking about the HOA, the Homeowners Association. And again, there are all levels of an HOA. There can be very small, minimal, like it's a small community. There's no amenities. There's no real common space. There's just maybe the entrance. Our community in Virginia was like one street in a cul-de-sac. There was just entrance at the beginning. I mean, it just was like, I don't even remember what it was. Maybe a little brick thing, but it was not a big grand hoorah entrance, but it did need to be maintained. It did need to have, landscaping and fresh flowers and being weeded and things like that. But there was no amenities. There was like this one little green space at the end of the road behind the cul-de-sac that they considered common area. And they threw a picnic bench back there, but also found out that's where all the snakes were like doing their eggs and whatever they're doing. So we're like, no one's ever going back there where the picnic tables are. Certainly not with your kids. But that was a small HOA, minimal maintenance, minimal common area maintenance, and a minimal HOA fee. There are medium communities where maybe you do have amenities. Maybe, and a lot of the time, by the way, your HOA fee is going to be determined not just on the amount and the level of amenities that you have, but the number of homeowners and houses in that community. You can have a massive community like Waterley. We always mention Waterley because it's just such an iconic one here. You can have an incredibly large community like Waterley and have off the chart amenities with their huge amenity center with the massive pool and the fitness center and the tennis courts and the this and that and the other. I mean, like literally everything. Dog parks. They've got a ballroom instead of just a clubhouse. They've got all sorts of things. They've got multiple pools scattered throughout the community, fishing piers, all of this amazing stuff. And it includes your lawn maintenance, front and backyard. So they do every bit of your lawn maintenance. But your HOA fee it's like $258, I think, Allie, something around there. So, but that's because there are so many homes in there that cost can be divided out among them. So you're going to have to determine in a community what that HOA fee is, what it covers. There are times, very rarely here in this area, but there are areas outside of the Horizon West area, Disney's backyard, as I call it, where sometimes the community will also cover your cable. Things like that. So we always want to find out what are they actually covering. The CCR, it basically stands for the Covenants, Codes, and Restrictions. That is the series of documents that's going to tell the homeowner what is and is not permittable there in the community. Can you have your RV or park your boat in your driveway? Chances are the answer to that is no. Can you plant a bunch of flags out front your house? Sometimes you have to get permission for that. Yes, I know. If you want to have a big, massive flagpole, in some cases you have to have HOA permission for that. The type of fence that you can use, where that fence has to be situated on your home and or in and around your perimeter of your property line. There's even restrictions like how far back that fence can start. So that's what the CCR stands for, the Covenants, Codes, and Restrictions. The other one that I mentioned is the ARC. That is the Architectural Review Committee. So if you want to get a fence put in, if you want to add a screened enclosure, if you want to add a pool, if you want to even sometimes change your landscaping, those are the things that you need to submit that application to the ARC, the Architectural Review Committee. And that committee may meet once a week. honestly depends on your community. If you've got a really big community and there's just thousands and thousands of homeowners, they're probably reviewing those on a daily basis. If it's a smaller community or medium size, they may review them once a week, maybe once a month. So, but that is an actual document that you would need to fill out and send in and submit. For instance, if you're going to do a pool, then you need to send in like the pool rendering, all of the specifics so that they know exactly what it is that you're trying to build so that they can give you their approval on that. So, and one other thing when we talk about the HOAs is I know a lot of people are like, I don't really want an HOA. I want to be able to do what I want. I want to be able to put a shed in my backyard, or I want to be able to plant a big garden. These are all great things, and I think you should be allowed to do them, but they don't ask me my opinion. But those are typically against the covenants, codes, and restrictions. Maybe not the garden, but usually building a secondary structure, even something like a shed, is going to be restricted. It depends on the area, and it depends on the HOA. Go out to Claremont, go out to Groveland, to Mascot, to Leesburg, to Howey in the Hills. Maybe their HOA is a little bit more flexible when it comes to that, and maybe you have a lot more options. Maybe it's kind of like, yeah, there's no real HOA just restriction. Some former neighbors of mine in our first home in Virginia, first home here in Florida, that just closed on a big, beautiful home a little bit further out. They have massive land, and they're going to put up a barn, and their daughter has a horse. So they're in an HOA where you can have horses on your property. So it really does depend on the area. And that's a really good question as you are looking for your next home, what it is that you're looking for, and understand the area that you're looking in as to how much oversight the HOA is going to have. In some of these master plan communities, almost all of the HOAs are going to be very restrictive. You can still live comfortably in your home, but they're going to pay attention to whether or not you edged your yard, right? Anyway, okay, so I don't know. By the way, don't forget if you have questions. I know last week I don't think I even took any questions. I'm so sorry. It was our first time back live. But if you have any questions or anything you want us to share, make sure that you pop that in here. Okay. Oh, Daryl said, I think Easton is saying get the tattoo. I don't know, Daryl. I don't know about that. I think I'm a little bit scared to do that. I also think I'm too old. It would not look cool. Anyway, but yeah, so tell me what you think about your HOA. Oh, wait, there is a question. Oh, this is a good one, Fred. Which group governs the bird cage over the lanai? So if you mean, I don't know exactly what you mean by governs, but let me just give you a couple answers and maybe it'll answer it. If you want to put a screened in lanai like we have behind us in our pool area, if you want that screened in lanai, all of that had to be approved through the HOA. All of that was in the plan that we submitted when we said we were going to put in the pool. We had all of the details laid out for them, including the screened enclosure. All of that fit within the guidelines of HOA restrictions. But I mean, honestly, it's massive back there. It's the screen goes from the side of the house to the side of the house. That entire place is screened in, and it's incredible. Now, as far as who's required now to maintain that falls on the homeowner. So they gave us permission to build it and have that as a part of our home. But then, any required maintenance, if the screen gets ripped, which thank God it has not yet, knock on some wood somewhere, or if there's any issue with that all lies on the homeowner. Just as though if you got a pool put in and your pool needs maintenance, then that's also on the homeowner. So I'm not exactly sure if that answered it. If not, let me know. But I think that did our job for us. Anyway, all right, so let's go on to our, Kim. HOAs are definitely a double-edged sword. I believe so too. I think that there's a lot of people who, I think a lot of people can get frustrated with an HOA and they feel like they're too involved. And I always tell people this. I know I've said this story before, so if you've been with me for a long time, I apologize. You're going to hear it again, but I'll say it quickly. I showed a home. It was a beautiful, brand new construction home on a random home site nestled in a random little street. And we went to go show the home. The home was beautiful. It backed up to the lake. It was gorgeous. It was everything that my clients wanted, except that the street that it was on was just a bunch of older houses. There was no real HOA, and the neighbors across the street had a massive pile of trash just waiting to be picked up, but had not been picked up clearly for a long time. Now we have bulk pickup with our trash and recycling, public services, the utilities. They'll come out and they pick up like on Thursdays. We put any of our bulk stuff out, they pick it up on Thursday and it's gone. Well, in this place, they clearly had not. There was a mattress out there and it was all soaking soggy wet. It's got mold and mildew on it now, just piles of trash. There was an old crib out there. And that affects the property value of the home that my clients wanted to purchase. And they're like, I don't want to live across from somebody who's just dumping their trash out and it never gets picked up. If it was an HOA, that would not be allowed. So yeah, Kim, it is a double-edged sword, but I'm always in favor of an HOA for the oversight of helping to maintain the integrity and the value of the community that I choose to invest a substantial amount of money in. So, but you're going to get some good HOAs, and sometimes you get some people that get a little, that goes to their head a little bit with their power hungry mindset. But I think in most cases, all of the HOAs are here to help the homeowners in the community, maintain the integrity and the value of the community. So very good. And yeah, okay. All right, Fred, I think I answered your question. He said, sorry, the backyard covering the pool. Yep. Good. Well, I'm glad I answered it. All right, so let's move on to our second topic, which is as is versus actionable. Okay, so this is based on an inspection report. That's what we're talking about. So in Florida, all of our contracts are standard. We've talked about that before. So if you're buying the house on 1 street or 2 street or 3 street or Main Street or Blue Street, the same contract is going to be used for whichever of those homes you purchase, unless it's a condo or something like that. But generally, it's an as-is contract. The as-is contract, based on the inspection report, is there to protect both parties. The as-is contract means, hey, I'm selling this home. It's a beautiful home, usually. It's a beautiful home. And we're selling it, though, as is. The way you see it is the way you're going to get it. We're not making any changes to it. We're not doing any repairs or renovations or whatever. That's the nature of it. The buyer then has the right to go, okay, well, I see your house. I like your house at face value, but I would like to buy it, although I want to have an inspection to make sure that there's nothing hiding behind the walls that I'm not aware of. There's nothing on the roof that I'm not aware of. So then the buyer has the right to have that inspection period, that safety period, anywhere between 7 days to 10 days, sometimes 14 days, but candidly, that's too long an inspection period. It really needs to be about 7 to 10 days max, in my opinion, because you're taking a risk there and you don't want to waste time. It does not take that long to get an inspection done around here. There's a lot of great inspection companies. Usually it can be done within the next day or two. You get the inspection report back the next day. You can review. You've got plenty of time. So that being said, as is versus actionable. So this is a real life example, because I love real life examples. So we just had an inspection done on one of my listings that went pending. And the as is nature, again, cosmetic, aesthetic touch-ups, things like that, that's going to be normal, right? It's a used house, right? It's had some living in, it's had some bumps and bruises. So I'm going to give you an example of 2 items. One of the items on the inspection report was that in the irrigation panel, because we do have irrigation systems here on our property, in our lawns. That made sense, right? And there's an exterior irrigation box, a panel that has wiring in it because it's hooking up to all of the sprinkler heads. So in the irrigation panel, there happened to be an exposed wire. It popped out or something. I'm not sure. I don't play with electrical. My granddaddy was an electrical contractor, and I'm scared to death of electricity. So I don't claim to know a thing. But that came up on the inspection report as a safety issue because, again, it's an exposed wire. You want to make sure that is fixed properly. So that's one thing. So that is absolutely actionable. That is something that I would, whether it was my buyer or my seller, I would want to make sure that is remedied. I would tell my seller, yeah, that's a safety issue. We need to make sure that as the seller, we find a way to remedy that. To my buyer, I would say, yes, I think that's fair that we request that be addressed. Okay, fair on both sides. Actionable. As is, another example in the same inspection report. And by the way, the inspection reports, at least the company that I use the majority of the time, Central Florida Building Inspectors, I absolutely love the way that they show their inspection reports because they do it in color-coded boxes or circles. Red is a safety issue. I think yellow is like regular maintenance, and like green is what's inspected or something like that. All I really focus on are those red ones, because those red ones, if it is a safety issue, is something that, again, as a buyer or as a seller, I would want to make sure that's going to be high on our priority list to discuss. Doesn't mean that every safety item needs to be addressed, because for instance, I had a home once where the safety issue was that there was a couple raised pavers in the sidewalk leading up to the front porch. The home was like 15 years old, I think. So of course, there's some settling and some disheveling of the pavers, and it's a tripping hazard. So yes, that is a safety issue, but no, that's not something that the seller needs to fix. That's not part of it, right? But now on the inspection report that I'm referencing, so sometimes the inspectors will give you typical maintenance items that you can just kind of file away and go, hey, you know what? I remember the inspector said we should probably do that in a couple years. This is a normal maintenance on this particular mechanical element of the home. In this case, they said it was a washer dryer, and they said, suggest replacing the black tubes that come from the washer dryer hookup, replacing the black tubes with the silver metal kind of flexible ones. I say that looks like a slinky, but not with open edges. That's the kind of, they just said suggest replacing that at some time, because the black ones can be known to deteriorate. They can be known to deteriorate, but the washer dryer work fine. The house is not even 2 years old yet. There is no issue. The washer dryer both function completely properly as a part of the mechanical appliance elements of the home. There's nothing wrong. There was no deterioration. There was no cracking. There was no issues with the current tubing that was on the washer dryer. Yet the buyer said, we'd really like you to replace that. And to which I told the seller, no, that's not something that you need to replace. There's nothing wrong with it. It functions and works properly. If that's something they would like to replace in the future, they can do so. So that is not actionable. That is part of as is. And so when you are going through the process as a buyer or as a seller, think about that. When you buy a home, you are buying it basically in the condition that it is in, with the right to inspect to make sure that what you see is what you get, that there's no hidden scary features somewhere. And then understand that when the inspection report comes in, for instance, okay, so grout or caulk, maybe you need to reseal something. Okay, that's normal. That's part of anybody's house, and that's part of required homeowner maintenance, but it's also part of the as-is nature of the contract. But to my sellers, I also say, but that's like a tube that you can run around and fix and make the buyer happy. So you just have to have that conversation. But the main thing is to focus on those bigger elements that are going to be real important things. Electrical panel having an exposed wire, important and actionable. Potentially replacing tubes on a washer and dryer that have no problems with them whatsoever. That's as is. So I think Easton agrees with me. Poor Allie, she's the frustration of the dogs and the baby. And Easton's getting his top teeth now. So I think that's partly why he's fussy. And the dogs are fussy. So everyone's fussy this morning. I'm not fussy, though. How about you? Are you fussy? All right, let's go back to our third topic. Let me see. Where is it? Button. Okay. Do you see what I see? Okay. So this is good. See, if Eric were here, he'd have something really funny and quirky to say about that. He'd probably start singing like, do you see what? But anyway, not me. Oh, very good. Good, Allie. She's joining in. Love it. She's a singer. Anyway, so what was the topic again? Oh, do you see what I see? Sorry. That's how it went. So this is my suggestion again, if you are looking at resale homes, again, real life, is when my client goes into the home, I know what their eyes are doing. They're going, woo, right? They're looking at everything. They're trying to soak in the floor plan. They're trying to look at the feasibility, the logistical layout. Does it work? How big is the kitchen? Do I love the kitchen? What is the flooring? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? How do you get from this room to that room? So they're looking at that. What I'm looking at are baseboards. I'm looking at the bottoms of cabinets, the edges of cabinets, the edges of walls. I'm looking at all of the things like faucets. I'm looking at sealed things. I'm looking up at the vents in the ceiling to see if there's been any leaks. I look up in the ceilings to see if there's any discoloration. So that's part of having your realtor go with you, or having that extra set of eyes. We had some friends of ours go and look at a house. Well, it wasn't friends of ours. It was, well, yes, it was. Go to look at a house on behalf of someone else because they lived close by. And they went to the house, and we already knew that the house was beautiful. We'd already seen pictures. We'd already had another little video, so that we knew that it was pretty. But we had friends go to actually physically stand there. And I loved what they said. They said, we are going specifically to look for what's wrong because we know you love it. We know you love it. We already, and it wasn't to go poo poo on your idea and go, oh, that's not a good house for you. It's to give you a different perspective. And that is really important. Not that you want to point out everything that's negative all the time, but it is important if you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on something to not get wowed and blinded by certain things and then realize only, come to find out, oh gosh, I wish I had opened that cabinet and seen that there was like all this water damage underneath the plumbing in that bathroom sink. That would have made a difference if I'd have known that. Not that, by the way, if someone is living in a home, that you should open up every single cabinet if they're living in it. If it's a vacant home, fair game. And that is something that I do. New construction as well, by the way. I open up the base cabinets underneath every sink and I rub my hand down there. And most of the time it's completely fine. But more than this many times, I probably even more than that. I have found where there was a previous leak, even if it was a few drips that didn't get caught, soaked in, and then it started to kind of bubble up and splinter up. One time I was actually doing a walkthrough for a client and there was actually pooled water on it, and I ran to my car to get paper towels to sop it up until the builder could fix it. True story, but it fixed it. We found it early, but that's the point. When the cabinet is closed, you may not know what's going on underneath it there. So anyway, so that is the third topic, which was, do you see what I see? And by the way, there's a lot of crazy things sometimes that you can see in these homes, including sometimes people's underwear on the sink in the bathroom, just laying there. It's kind of gross, kind of nasty. Anyway, all right, guys, let me see. Well, I'm gonna put my glasses on and see if there's anything fun. You guys are all over here, and I don't get to join into the fun stuff. Oh, good, Kim, I love it. It's getting close to getting our 1 year inspection done. Anything in particular we should be aware of? Kim, this is fantastic. And by the way, has it been a year already? It can't. No. Really? Yeah, maybe. Honestly, this last 6 months have been such a blur, with Eric and everything, that I guess a lot of time has passed when in hindsight, it just seems like, how could that have happened? But I guess so. So honestly, when you do your 1 year inspection, so Kim purchased a brand new construction home. She built it absolutely gorgeous. And as you get close to that 1 year warranty, with the builder being up, I always suggest that you get a third party inspection done at that time. It is well worth the $500 to $750, whatever, the inspection costs, usually based on your square footage, by the way, and any add-ons that you might have. Excuse me, as to getting your inspection done so that you can know within that year, now that the AC has been running, now that you've been flushing toilets and doing laundry and taking showers, and now that you've been opening and closing cabinets, doors, and drawers, are those things, is there anything going on now that the home has settled a little bit? All of those types of things are important because now you can see how the home has functioned now that that wheel has been spinning the whole time. So I would say, Kim, get a general inspection, I think there might even say, depending on who you use, it might even say a typical just residential inspection. Sometimes it'll say a 1 year inspection. I think some of the builders or some of the inspection companies may have that, but either way, it's just a general residential inspection. I don't know that you would need to add the WDO. WDO stands for wood destroying organisms. Basically, it's termites. Because your home came with that 1 year termite bond, I don't think you would need to pay extra for that because you were already covered and you already have a bond. However, Ms. Kim and anybody else, make sure that that is something else you put on your to-do list. Call the company that did the termite treatment and the termite bond in the beginning and renew that. It's usually like ours, I think, is $192 every year. They come out, they do a quick look, everything still looks good, boom, they renew the bond. But do that. And if you don't know who it was, go look at your electrical panel in your garage. Sometimes there's a sticker there and it will have the little sticker of certification there. If not, we can find out for you. In most cases, it's Massey, Massey. But that's not the only company. So we want to make sure we find the correct company. So WDO, I don't think you need to pay for. If you would like to add a sewer scope, if you feel like you have had any plumbing issues, any toilet issues, that's another thing, by the way. A lot of times in new construction, once you've been using the toilet for a while, that's when you may start to see some issues. So if you're like, nope, everything flushes fine, no issues, no gurgling, no, clogs, nothing like that, then maybe you don't need to do that. If you have, it might be good to add the sewer scope just so that you can see if there are any cracks in the line, if there's any blockage in the line. That might be something you can add, but that again would be completely up to you. Other than that, a general residential inspection, and what you want them to be aware of too is, the things that you can't see on a day-to-day basis. Where are the exterior stucco cracks? How severe are they? Are they normal settling cracks, or are they bigger than the threshold that the warranty? Because normal ones are fine, bigger ones could indicate a bigger issue. Obviously the roof, I'm sure you have not been up on the roof to check it yourself. Make sure that they do a good roof inspection for you, and that they do a good HVAC inspection, including the attic and insulation, making sure that everything is still nice and intact there. So that's really what you're looking for, is you want to make sure, and this is the term I use, you want to make sure that it is structurally and mechanically still sound. If you dinged the wall moving that chair and you've got this little chip in the wall, well, that's your fault. Sometimes the builder will fix it. I know how to fix it, Kim. I'll help you. Those are not warrantable items. But if you notice that, again, for some reason the AC keeps cutting off, or we're having an issue with this one spot, this one toilet it keeps clogging, or there's an issue over here, there's a little wet spot. Those are the things you want to be aware of. But that's a really good question. So let me know how that goes. Yeah, Kim. Yep, absolutely.
Good question from Nene Baby right above Kim's question.
Right.
Have the Q on it, but
La 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 la. I'm just trying to look to see. Nene Baby.
would issues change the
Oh, what a great question, Nene Baby. Okay, back to the inspection part of it. Would issues change the asking price of a property? Yes and no. It absolutely can. 100%. Absolutely. If you go purchase a home and you're like, wow, you know what? I did not realize, because remember, when you go to see a home, you're looking at it for what you can see. You're not necessarily doing an inspection of the attic space. You're not doing an inspection of the AC handler, and you don't know maybe the age of that. A lot of people don't know the age of some of those mechanical things, especially if it's an older resale home. He is so irritated. He is so irritated. It's okay, though. It's okay. You're going to come see everybody, and they're going to love you. I know. Anyway, but let's say you and this has happened too. We see a home, we love the home, we submit the offer on the home, we get the inspection done, and we get a report back that says AC unit is at end of life. And what that means, or roof is at end of life. And what that means is that it's clunking along, but it is not going to make it much longer. And so what that means to the potential buyer, or buyer at this point because you're under contract, is that you may have a big expense that you were not expecting when you submitted your offer. Maybe you came in at full price because you really wanted this home and you just wanted to make it an easy deal. Like, yes, we'll give you what we're asking. Boom, boom, boom. We love it. They accept your offer. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone's happy. You get the inspection. You're like, wah, wah. Uh-oh, we have a problem. We have a roof that's got a couple of leaks, and we have an AC unit that we're going to have to replace probably as soon as we move in. So maybe totaling, that's going to cost you, let's just say maybe, 7 to 10 grand, and you were not expecting that. So yes, now there is an opportunity for your agent, your buyer agent, to reach out to the listing agent to have that discussion and to come up with a good solution. And maybe it's, we don't want the house anymore. Or maybe it's, hey, we came in at asking price and we put down a strong earnest money deposit, but we do not have an extra 10 grand to replace that AC unit and to get that roof fixed. So what can we do here? And in some cases, it's like, how about if we reduce the price of the home? Or how about if the sellers give you a credit back so that you can take care of those items after you close? Or you know what? The sellers will take care of that before closing, or we split the cost in half. There's a number of solutions, but yes, Nene Baby, for sure, it can affect the price of the property in regards to your offer. So yeah, that's a really good question. Love it. Oh, you guys are so smart. I love it. Okay. All right. Let's move on to something else. Let me see if there's anything else. Da, 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 da. All right, cool. All right. I'm going to go on then to wishes. No, I'm going to do what I'm watching. This is what I'm watching. Easton, you're a star. Easton. This is Easton, everyone. Isn't he just adorable? Okay, so what I'm... where are you going? I don't know. Oh, no, you're going to... Look, I have enough problems with my buttons. I don't need accidental fingers. Okay. All right, so I'm still watching Traders and the other ones. But I just started watching the other night Alone in Australia. Again, I can watch pretty much anything. I'm not a big fan of violence and gore, although I did kind of groove on Walking Dead. But anyway, I was like, you know what? First of all, to be fair, I have struggled finding something to watch because so many things relate to couples and married couples, and it kind of hurts a little bit. So I don't really want to watch those. I think there's a new Tom Hanks. I think it's Tom Hanks, a new movie, and I really want to watch it, but I really can't. So there's anyway. So I will say I was drawn to the name of this, Alone. Like that's just a mental thing. Now this is actually one of those reality survival shows. They are actually out in Australia, and anyway, it's pretty cool. I think it's Australia. Yeah, this is what it says right there. That's what it says. But they're out there, and I don't know. I'm like maybe 5 episodes in. It's kind of a fun, mindless thing because it's kind of cool to watch people. And I think to myself, I don't know how to do any of that. Like I wasn't a Girl Scout. I don't have any of those. Like live off of the earth. Create shelter from the earth. Get food and nourishment from the ground and hunting. And I don't think I know I couldn't do it. But anyway, I do find it fascinating. And I just love people. I love them so much. Everybody, like wherever you are, whatever you do, however you live, it's absolutely fascinating. And I think sometimes these shows, especially like this one where they are alone and they're out there and they're just with these cameras, trying to, just kind of live this life and survive out there. You get a lot of I think in-depth conversation, and you dive deep into who they are and their psyche, and I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, that's what I'm watching at the moment. It's pretty fun. Everyone is saying they love Easton, by the way. He is pretty stinking cute, isn't he? Yeah, I'm gonna keep him. Yes. So Sydney says Tom Hanks movie. Here is a tearjerker. Yeah, I just don't think I'm ready for it yet. And by the way, Sydney, you are just so sweet. So many of you, again, you send out, you send me those text messages, and everyone's just so sweet. They just send all these little great words of encouragement and little messages, and I would love it. I love it. So thank you. And Sydney, you are one of them. Jay says, I would never survive the apocalypse. I need my comforts. Me too. Like, what would I do without a bathroom? That's just not, I can't, no. Like, Eric and I used to joke about, I could never go camping ever, but there is that glamping, I think, that could have been done, but at this point it's irrelevant. But anyway, yeah, pretty funny. All right. So anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about my listings. Allie has Easton over there in the little play area. He's having fun. So I'm going to zoom through this stuff. So these are the current listings. Last week we talked about the Alcott one story that was under contract. It was under contract last Monday. But I didn't have the little banner. So that one went under contract. Boom. 2 days, I think that one was. We have a beautiful 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath Tory with the fireworks right there behind that house. A lot of foot traffic. I was told, everyone, if you want to continue like prayers or good vibes or good mojo out into the world, send us that for that house. We got a message last night from a realtor who showed it to her clients for the second time. I sent her a follow-up message saying, hey, how did that showing go? Do you have any questions? Anything else I can provide for you? And she said, no, we're preparing an offer. Yay. So preparing an offer. Don't have the offer yet, at least maybe as of before coffee time, it was not there yet. But just cross your fingers and send that good mojo that we get an offer on that one today, because that would be a huge help. Then we also got the one in Hawksmoor, also went under contract. Another beautiful one-story home. We still have the Groveland one-story, still a gorgeous home. It's a great find out there. It's priced really, really well. We had some interested people. Haven't heard back from them, but I will say there's a lot of people who they're still a little bit more slow going. They're still a little bit more at a snail's pace. As the weather picks up, as the season officially changes for everyone, as we start to hit kind of the pre-spring break itchy vibe, people are going to be a little bit faster to make decisions. Right now, I think there's a lot of people that are, yeah, I like it. Like, actually, I had a message last night from someone who also showed that one that says the fireworks view. She saw it on Wednesday and finally responded to my request last night and said they like it, but they're going to wait a little bit. Do you have any offers? So what that tells me is they do like it. They could potentially submit an offer, but they don't feel like there's any rush. There's no fire under them to get them to move forward on something faster. And that's what we tend to see a lot of. People are a little bit more slow to roll. But again, you snooze, you lose sometimes. So Davenport Townhome and then the Groveland Villa, that is in a gated community. And that one is a great find as well. Okay, so that is what we have at the moment for the listings, I think. I know what I was going to tell you. I do have one that's going to be coming up in Horizon West. Absolutely beautiful. It's a one-story floor plan with a bonus room. The bonus room is fantastic. They use it for their daughter lives upstairs. It's a bedroom, excuse me, a bedroom, a full bath, and a flex space. So it's almost like her own little apartment upstairs. It's like she's got her own like living room area, her own bedroom, and her own bathroom. And then downstairs has the additional bedrooms, the office, and an absolutely gorgeous outdoor area that overlooks a pond. It's really beautiful. So that one should be coming up probably the end of March. So we have a little bit of time, but I met with them yesterday. And I think our timeline will probably be the end of March. So if you're looking for something here in this area, and that one might be piquing your interest, I'll give you the info on that one. Anyway, all right, let's go on to wishes. Okay. Oh, the music didn't play. Oh, there it is. Hold on. I'm gonna try it again. Hold on. Eric worked so hard on all of those openings, I can't forget to push the button. So congratulations to Diana and Rich, to Anna and Nick, and to Diane and Keith. Congrats to those girls. You're going to have to stop. We're in the middle of a show. Oh, no. Allie, what did I just do?
Oh, I think you just clicked on.
Oh no, what did I do? Okay, there I am. Woo, that was scary. I just clicked on something else. I turned my hand and I hit a button. Diana and Rich, congrats. They just contracted on a house. Anna and Nick are getting ready to close on their beautiful home that they just built with Pulte out in Horizon West. And Diane and Keith, same thing. We are super excited. They're getting ready to close on another Pulte home, interestingly, different community, but also in Horizon West. So super excited for everyone. Lots of fun stuff coming up. A lot of closings actually coming up as well for people who have been building. So that's always a really fun part of the process. You know, it was months and months and months ago where we were out looking at homes and we were out talking about options and communities and floor plans and options. And then now here they are all built and prepped and ready to close. So it's always exciting to see. Next week, actually, you know what? I do need to tell you that next week. Well, you know what? I'll just go to Cup because that will explain it. Okay, so next week I will not have a coffee time because I'm going to go see my mom in Virginia Beach. That's where I am from originally, and I was scheduled to go see my mom in September. Her birthday is toward the end of September. And I had a trip all planned. I was going to go see her for a couple of days, surprise her for her birthday. And, Eric was not doing well, and I just didn't feel like it was time for me to leave him, even for a few days. So I didn't. And I canceled that trip. And but now I'm going to go back and go see my mom and see my brother and my sisters and nieces and nephews. And I'm going to do a quick trip to Virginia Beach to see my mom, and then I'm going to swing to Yorktown. I'll see Miss Susan Forsgren, who is usually on here, but I don't see her this morning. Pop over there for maybe just a couple hours, and then head over to Richmond to see my son, and then I'll head back. So I'm just going to take a quick little, I think it's like 4-day little, not a vacation because I'm still working, by the way. So if you are a client of mine, I'm still working. Computer goes with me everywhere. Phones go with me everywhere. I'm still working, so it's not really a vacation. It's really just a trip to go see my mom. But because I will be there on a Monday, in a different world, Eric would be here doing coffee time for me. But since that can't happen, we're going to have to just, you know what, we'll put a little pause button on it. And you guys can enjoy because actually next Monday, isn't that President's Day here? It is. So next Monday is President's Day. So if you're here in the U.S., you may have that day off of work. But here's what you can do for me, okay? You can grab your cup of coffee on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and maybe you send a note or make a phone call to a loved one that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and you just have a really good conversation from like 9 to 10 in the morning. Why don't you do that? That would be good. Anyway, all right, I'm going to move on, and I think I'm going to go to Word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Yeah. All right. So the word of the day is lot, fit, and swing. It's actually two of them. Mostly because we have talked about garage swing before, but they do kind of go hand in hand. So a lot fit. If you have ever tried to build new construction, do you remember those overhead projectors? There's an overhead projector. Try that again. Overhead projector transparency film. There we go. Wow, that's a mouthful. An overhead projector transparency film that we used to have when we were in school, right? And then our teacher would write the things on that. They'd lay it on the machine and it would pop up. Okay, well, that piece of paper, that clear film, the builders have printed the footprint of each of the floor plans. And with that, they can put that over top of the plat of your piece of property, including whatever the setbacks and easements may be. It will give you a truer indication of how your home will be, not could be, but will be situated on that home site, which is nice because if you've got a 20-foot setback, and you're looking at the lot and you're like, well, I don't really know where 20 feet is. Well, how much? Okay, well, that's great. Well, it's 20 feet from the curb, but then how much backyard am I going to have after the home is built? Like, I don't know how much backyard I'm going to have. The lot fit will tell you. You put the transparency film over top of the plat. This is what the builder does, right? Because this is their information. This is within their wheelhouse. But sometimes you can ask for that. Sometimes it's readily accessible and they can do it right there. They got a little 3-ring binder and they go pop, pop, pop. Yep, there it goes. Some builders are like, well, I'll have to get that for you because they don't have that in their toolbox at the moment. But that is a great thing that you can ask for if you're like a little bit concerned with how much depth am I going to have, how much backyard space will I have after the home is built. And again, you can walk it out and map it out with your feet on the actual earth, which you should also do. But sometimes it'll be nice to know by having a lot fit done. And the swing, pardon me, on the swing aspect of it, we have talked about garage swing. Garage swing means swing means just laughing again. Garage swing means when you're standing looking at the front of your house. If your garage is on the left, that is a left garage swing. If you are looking at your house and your garage is on the right side, that is a right garage swing. So if you are looking to build, the questions you want to ask: can you do a lot fit? And what is the garage swing? Is the garage on the left or is the garage on the right? And that's as you are looking at the house. Because remember, if you're standing in the house looking out at the street, that right and left is now going to be different. So it's important to know you're standing on the street looking at your house in front of you, left or right. Okay, there. Did that help? All right. I hope it helped. I hope our coffee times always help. Susan just chimed in, by the way. Oh, no, Sarah came in. She says, I'm watching Matthew. Oh, Mom's not feeling great. Oh, no. Susan's not well? Oh, no. All right. Well, go tell her that I said she needs to feel better. Well, give Matthew a big smooch for me, too. Sarah was one of my students. She's an amazing mama, and that's Susan's daughter. So they're my intended family from back in the Yorktown days. So we'll tell your mom I hope she feels better, Sarah. All right. Anyway, moving on. All right, guys. So that was a lot of information for today. I hope you found it helpful. If you've got questions, don't forget to always pop them in and let me know. Oh, wait, 56 Stride. Hello from behind Levi Stadium. Wow. This is so cool. This is so cool. Oh, and Laura says, just passed through Richmond as we had a wedding in Wilmington, North Carolina on Friday. Wow, that's so cool. Love it. And Jane, yes, I'm flying. And yeah, I am flying. It's about a 10 hour to 12-hour drive by the time you make all the stops and stuff. So yeah, I'm not driving it because I'd spend the majority of my time that I could be visiting with them. But yeah, so I'll be flying out. All right, guys. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody on Friday. I wore pink again in honor of Valentine's Day. I hope you will take a moment to spend. I've never been a big fan of Valentine's Day personally, other than when I was a kid and used to get candy and a little Valentine card at school. But other than that, I hope you all take a moment to spend time with those you love, and just have some flowers, have some chocolates, have some jewelry. Dudes, like girls like the bling bling. So, get a little bauble, as I call it. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to start to head out. And I am going to have the rest of my Monday. I got some appointments today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. As always, I just appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So the dogs are going to bark. They're going to annoy me. So I'm going to scream when this broadcast is over, just so you know. And, oh,
You want to hold him while you sign up?
oh, I'll do that. I'll do this. Okay. Okay. Oh, you want to help Mimi? Do you want to help me? Do you want to help? You got your spoon? Oh, it's in this hand. It's in this hand. Easton, look up here. Say hi. Can you say hi? No, over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. There you go. Anyway, all right. He's my little buddy for the day. He's my helper. All right, guys. As always, we love you. Please stay safe. Stay well. Seriously, remember we love you. And happy house hunting. Easton, you want to say bye-bye? You want to say